Welcome, dear grade 12 students, to this video, which is about the reading of module 10b, part 1, student book pages 148 and 149. By the end of this lesson, you are expected to be able to discuss the consequences of a pandemic on society, interpret details in the texts to answer comprehension questions number 1, 2, and 3 in exercise C. You'll be able to show ability to use context clues to guess the meanings of the 5 highlighted words in texts A and B, and you will be able to answer detailed comprehension questions on text B. Dear students, pause and take your time to think of a pandemic. What is a pandemic? And is it different from an epidemic? And try to remember some of the famous pandemics that spread all over the world recently. Done? Finished? Okay. A pandemic is the worldwide spread of a disease which usually has great consequences on countries and their populations. On the other hand, an epidemic is a disease outbreak that is specific to one city, region, or country. And some of the pandemics are the HIV virus that causes AIDS, which spread in 1981 and caused death to about 35 million. The 2009 swine flu pandemic, H1N1, that caused death to about 285,000 people. And coronavirus, or COVID-19, which started in Wuhan, China, in December 2019, and caused death to over 2.5 million people till time of recording this video. Now think of this question, please. What do you think are the consequences of a pandemic on society? Okay, and this question, how do you think people's everyday life change? Done? Okay, this is a suggested answer. We can sum up the consequences of a pandemic on society in some points. Many people will fall ill. Many parts of society will stop functioning properly. People won't be able to go about their daily lives. Healthcare providers may become overwhelmed and unable to deal with the large numbers of people who need treatment. Even doctors and nurses themselves may catch the disease. As for the change in people's lives, people will improve cleanliness by washing their hands more frequently to prevent infection. They avoid meeting in large groups and shaking hands. They are advised not to travel abroad during a pandemic, right? As for exercise B on page 148, please quickly read through the 3 texts below. Okay, what type of texts are they? And where would you expect to find each one? Please pause, take your time, and then come to this feedback. How about text A? What type of text is it? Right, it's an advertisement, and I would expect to find it online or in an email. How about text B? Great, it's an article, and I would expect to find it in a newspaper or in a magazine. As for text C, it's a letter to the editor, responding to the article in text B, in this text. So it would be in the same place, but at a later date. Now, my dear student, your task is to read the texts again, underline the unknown words, and try to guess their meanings from the context. Then answer the relevant questions of exercises C and E. Also think of the 3 comprehension questions down here. Here you are the meaning of 2 important words right here. Obstacle is a difficulty or a problem or a hindrance, and opportunity means a chance or an occasion. Okay, are you ready to listen and read?
10B. Reading. A.
Distance learning, obstacle or opportunity. Online seminar with James Fisher, featuring online learning and motivation, how to keep your students on track. Skilling up, how both teachers and students can get the most out of tech. Sign up for both talks now. Sponsored by EduSoftware. Let us fulfill your online learning needs.
Now, what is the purpose of this advertisement? Are you ready with the answer? Right, it is to inform about an online seminar, and the presenter is James Fisher, right? And this seminar is sponsored by EduSoftware. Nice work. 3 more questions, dear students. What is the seminar mainly about? And who is the online seminar targeted at? And the meaning of the phrase on track. This is the first question of exercise E. The first question of exercise C. Okay, pause and take your time. Done? Okay, the seminar is about whether distance learning is an opportunity or an obstacle. And this advertisement targets the teachers who are holding classes online. And this is the evidence, how to keep your students on track. And the meaning of the phrase on track, your answer please. Right, on track means that you are making progress in the right way. Right? Dear student, if you haven't read text B, please read it, underline the new vocab, try to guess their meanings and the meaning of the highlighted ones as well, and be ready to answer the relevant questions of exercises C and E in addition to some comprehension questions. Are you ready to read and listen? Please follow.
B.
Pandemics, an economic viewpoint. When we think about a pandemic, the immediate concern is usually the effect on public health, the struggles and strains of overburdened healthcare systems, and the necessity of stopping the rate of infection. However, once the dust has settled, it quickly becomes apparent that a pandemic has consequences that stretch beyond the spread of the disease itself, consequences that can affect the economic and social sphere for years to come. While pandemics obviously put pressure on all companies and businesses related to healthcare, they also affect the wider world of work. As consumers fall ill and avoid making big purchases due to the uncertainty of the global situation, demand in some sectors may be dramatically reduced, leading to job losses and unemployment. Travel and tourism, for example, are usually heavily hit, as people stay home as a result of either financial uncertainty or concerns about infection. At the same time, other sectors may face sudden rises in demand. Panic buying is commonly seen during pandemics, as people change their shopping habits as a result of the situation. This may involve stocking up on extra basic necessities, prioritizing more healthy foods, or even purchasing things that they believe may help cure or fight off the disease. This leads to increased demand, which, coupled with delays in supply chains caused by workers falling sick and businesses closing, can lead to severe shortages in essential items and foods.
Now, my dear students, we have 2 multiple choice questions and 4 highlighted words. Pause and take your time, then come to this feedback. Are you ready? What does the phrase "once the dust has settled" mean? Your answer, please. Exactly, it means when a hectic situation calms down. And a hectic situation is a situation that is full of rushed activities. Question number 3. What do we learn about unemployment during pandemics? Exactly. We learn that unemployment increases during pandemics due to lack of demand. And this is the evidence. Demand in some sectors may be dramatically reduced, leading to job losses and unemployment. The meaning of the word strain, your answer please. Strain is, right, an amount of pressure put on something, and sector means exactly a specific section of the workforce within a country. The meaning of stock up, to stock up is to purchase a big amount of the same item in order to use in the future. To couple with means, right, to join with something. Excellent work. Now go back to text B on page 148 and try to find answers to these 3 questions. Pause and take your time. Once you are ready, please follow. What is our main concern when we think about a pandemic? Are you ready? Right, our main concern is the effect on public health, the struggles and strains of overburdened healthcare systems, and the necessity of stopping the rate of infection. Now, what other sectors are affected by a pandemic in addition to the healthcare systems? Are you ready? Exactly, the economic and social sectors. How is the world of work negatively affected during a pandemic? Right. Number 1, consumers fall ill and avoid making big purchases. Number 2, demand in some sectors may be reduced, leading to job losses and unemployment. Number 3, travel and tourism are usually heavily hit as people stay home as a result of either financial uncertainty or concerns about infection. The last 3 questions on text B. Pause, take your time, find the answers, and then follow. Ready? What is panic buying? Exactly, panic buying is a situation commonly seen during pandemics as people change their shopping habits as a result of the situation. What do people mostly buy in a situation of panic buying? Right, they mostly buy extra basic necessities, prioritizing more healthy foods or things that they believe may help cure or fight off the disease. And what are the consequences of this phenomenon? Is it clear right here? Right, panic buying will lead to severe shortages in essential items and foods. My dear student, this is the end of part 1. To be ready for part 2, please, my dear students, read text C and think of the rest of exercises C and E in addition to exercises D and F. Okay, please follow. Thank you so much for watching this video, which will be available on Microsoft Teams.